Hello and welcome in. My name's Tom, your neighborhood butcher, and today we're going to go over how to go through a whole tenderloin you might get at Costco or Sam's Club or just one of the places that you may end up buying a whole tenderloin. I think Bash's will sell a whole tenderloin from time to time, and I'm going to help ease the pain of taking that piece of meat out of the bag and cutting it up into some beautiful fillets and then doing some wonderful things to it. All right, we're going to crack into this whole filet mignon in the bag, or the primal name, beef tenderloin. And we're going to peel the silver side off this so that this will be a really good eating experience. You want just a little bit of fat in your filet, but not too much. You want mainly, the marbling that goes through that main muscle. And we're going to pull off most of the silver side. See this silver side that's on that other side? I'm going to leave that there because if you look when we cut into this piece of meat, you're going to see that there's a little bit of fat to that, and I think that helps to flavor the meat. And that side is not as tough as the main silver side. Now we're going to cut a little bit of it off as we go along and just try to leave that nice little piece of fat right there. That's going to be really good in my opinion and help flavor that piece of meat. We're just going to clean this thing up. You see we're going down the sides, just taking all the fat off of it. And then we're just going to, pull this out and just even up this end. And then here's where we're going to start on the butt side of this, or the porterhouse side, however you want to look at it. There's a beautiful fillet right there, right off the butt, right off the first cut. And then these next two cuts or three cuts, I like to use these for my bacon wrapped fillets. And you'll see that here in just a moment. They've been cut just a little bit thinner so that bacon will fit right around that piece of meat perfect. And you see how I just nipped a little bit of that silver side off of those pieces of meat in particular. And then we're just going to cut this thing the rest of the way down, and we're going to get 3 pieces of filet mignon that are going to be perfect for bacon wrap. And you see as you move up and down this fillet, on that end they're a little smaller in diameter. See that? But they get a little bit bigger as you go along. I think that center piece, once you get past the butt, is some of the best fillet that you can possibly have, in my opinion. It has the most marbling in my opinion, and I think it's the most tender personally. Now here are those pieces that we're going to put bacon around. And we're just going to use a hickory smoked bacon, just a regular, just average Joe hickory smoked bacon from the service counter. And you see, you're just going to stretch it around the fillet. I mean, you can use a little piece of toothpick or something right there if you'd like. But I find to just wrap it around, stretch it around, and then kind of just paste it together, so to speak. And it'll hold pretty good. What you could do is you could put them on the grill and you can kind of sear those 2 pieces of meat together a little bit if you wanted to. But I find it, just leave it just like it is, and just stick it on the grill, and there's a whole fillet cut up. And now we're going to do a second fillet, whole tenderloin in the bag. And then we're going to do the whole situation again. All right, let's get at it. We're going to even up that piece of meat right there. And then we're going to peel the silver side off of it. I'm going to do a little different technique on this one. We'll go right up underneath that silver side and then just pull it all the way down that tenderloin. It's a good technique. It's just going to make that fillet a little better eating experience in my opinion. Now as you can see, there's a couple different ways to methodically cut meat. You see that I'm pulling my knife across that piece of meat. I'm a left-handed cutter, so I tend to, pull like that, where some people will push through things like that. It just depends on your style. I've gotten used to doing it this way. There's a big old chunk of fat we're going to just take out of that thing, and you see, we just clean that piece of meat up real nice. It is ready to cut right there. And then the first steak coming off. And then here's the second steak coming off, and we're going to use this piece to put a piece of bacon around it, and then that'll give us 4 bacon wrapped fillets off of 2 whole tenderloins. And I think those are going to be really nice on the grill. All right, just clean up our surface a little bit, and then let's get out cutting this thing down. Each of these are going to be about 1.5 inches thick. Some of these ones, like right in this area, maybe almost 2 inches. But the diameter gets a little bit smaller, so I tend to make them just a little bit thicker so that they still weigh in that half-pound range. That's what I like to make sure my fillets are, in the half-pound range. That's a good serving size for a fillet, in my opinion. And there you go. That is the whole fillet. We're going to snip a little more of that silver side off. You see how you have a little bit of that fat there in the corner? That's good in my opinion. Some of that stuff is good to have just to give a little bit more flavor to that tenderloin, as well as it being a super tender eating experience. You also want that tastiness of the fillet as well. And there you go. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And thanks. Hey, bye now. We'll see you next time.